Greetings, everyone, and welcome to day number 440, a special update tonight on Tuesday, May the 9th. It is Victory Day in Russia, and quite a bit of stuff we have to share with you. So I want to thank you for being here. Tonight, I have a lot of Vladimir Putin translated into English. I've been looking around on different sites. It's so difficult to find any English, but tonight we've got it here. So make sure that you share the update, share the broadcast, continue to like, comment, share, do all the things that you do. Join the Patreon, support the work, and for that, we are deeply grateful. Most of you know that Zhenya today had surgery. If you're a part of this community, I can tell you the surgery did happen. It was pretty rough on him, and when the surgery was over, he called me once he woke up. He was all, of course, bandaged up the way that operation unfolds, and he was not a happy camper because they were out of the pain meds that was necessary for the beginning phases of the recovery. And it's okay. I mean, this is the reality. He's at a good hospital, a good clinic. We're raising money to help him get that surgery taken care of. Got to pay for it out of the pocket because we wanted a better hospital. And no pain meds. That's the reality of this war. But he's doing okay and on the road to recovery. And he wanted to send a thank you to all of the community for praying for him and thinking about him today on his Victory Day, having surgery on his shoulder. Now, let's jump right in. Last night when Zhenya was on here, the rockets, the missiles were flying, and that is the truth. We have the information that has come out today. Let me get us to here. 25 rockets were fired at Ukraine, really, while we were streaming last night. And then there was another wave that unfolded after that. But 23 out of 25 were taken out of the air. There were some caliber missiles. There were X-101s. There were Shaheeds flying. There were hits in Kharkiv. There were hits in Dnipro. Kyiv was rained down upon as well. And once again, we had the collateral damage happening, but only 2 direct main hits. So we take that as, a victory. They do not have the best air defense systems in the world. The Patriots are there, but they're not everywhere. So they're very light on basically trying to have an Iron Dome like Israel has, but they were able to take out 23 of 25. The other issue is every day it depletes depletes their supplies of air defense weapons, but overall good. Now we go, and tonight's stream is all about Victory Day. This is what we're looking at. So the rockets were rolling last night. Ukraine was doing the defense. This morning, Podolyak went on the airwaves prior to the Victory Day speeches and celebrations that were happening in Russia, and before all the madness would begin to unfold and happen. He went on the morning shows, basically, and talked about what reality was. Of course, Ukraine had no idea what Vladimir Putin would be saying, had no idea what would be unfolding during the day. And as of right now, I'm looking at the other feed over here. We're okay. The war goes on. The battles are raging in Bakhmut and Kherson and all along the front lines, Marinka, Avdiivka, Ugledar, everywhere. It doesn't stop, but Podolyak comes out as an advisor to the office of president, went on the morning show this morning and tried to give the Ukrainian people understanding of how this war is going to unfold. It's not going to be over tomorrow. It's not going to be over in a month. There are going to be battles that Ukraine wins. There are going to be battles that Russia wins, unless something crazy happens. That's what's going to unfold. It doesn't matter what Putin says on Victory Day. It doesn't matter what social media says. We are in a long-term war here, and it's going to be a process. I had that translated for you. And this is Podolyak talking on the morning show, preparing Ukrainian people. Well, given the intensity and the scale of the war, considering the resources that Russia invests here, including mobilized people, many hundreds of measures they're doing, it's not just a matter of one day for the war, 1 week, or 1 month. This is going to happen over a chain of events. Some events will be more successful, others will be less successful. And that's how it's going to unfold. All in all, as we go forward, the morale of the Russian people is going to begin to fall in Russia. In fact, in Russia today, I would probably say that they are expecting to lose, and they are already waiting for our offensive. And they want to see how the humiliation is going to come in regard to the military situation. So 2 or 3 or 4 tactical defeats for Russia, and after that, there's going to be an irreversible process of collapse of the willpower of the Russian people and the administrative abilities. So today, I would say that people no longer treat or emphasize Putin and his entourage as people who are infallible in their decisions. They understand it's different now. You know, how smart was that for Ukraine and Podolyak to go on early this morning and just start ripping it, saying this war is going to be long term, but we already see the morale falling. Russia's realizing that they're going to lose the war. Realize and understand, dear friends, the chess move. That's all before the Victory Day parade was unfolding, and it was sticking it in the eye that no matter how you hurrah today, the morale is falling in this war. Very, very brilliant move, not only on Podolyak, but I'm sure Ukrainian brain power, brain trust had their plan ready to unfold. Now, with that said, what happened next? Well, tonight, not about tactical. Tonight's all about Victory Day. Iran started to gloat. They put out public information. I have the border of Ukraine there in the blue. Below that, of course, is Ukraine. The black border would be the Belarus and Russian border. And I have the Iranian flag up there showing. And you see the little arrow dot there in the Gostomel region, the radio factory. This is where Iran already has their technical advisors for the Shahed drones, and they're going to begin to manufacture them right there in that Gostomel area. Of course, that will become a target for Ukraine and whoever else wants to take that out. But you see the cities circled there: Kyiv, Chernihiv, Sumy, Kharkiv. That's all these cities that you know very well from being here on the updates. But Iran coming out today on Victory Day and saying, listen, on this Victory Day for Russia, isn't it interesting that us as Iranians who have been sanctioned to death and we're supposed to be destroyed from the inside, that we find ourselves in the middle of the technological world and everybody's relying on the Iranians, whether it's Russia dealing with Ukraine or down in the Middle East dealing with Israel or our relationships with Asia. Iran was meant to be destroyed, but here we are finding ourselves in the middle of everything. Happy Victory Day, Russia. Very interesting statement, to be quite honest, and very accurate. Iran's supposed to be pushed out with their intentions of nuclear capabilities, nuclear weapons, their intentions to rain terror down throughout the world. And it's not, once again, when I speak about Iran, it's not all about Iranians. There's a lot of good Iranians. There's a lot of good Russian people. There's a lot of good people everywhere. But these regimes get in charge, and it's terrible. Now, that's what was happening there. As we go a little further, I want to give you a piece of culture, and then we're going to jump into the translation of Vladimir Putin. So, here is a dinner table in the Kremlin. This is the photo of the post-Victory Day celebration meal or dinner hosted by Vladimir Putin. So this meal is for whoever came that was on the presidential level. And of course, these are the nations we were talking about last night: Kazakhstan, who else? Armenia, and others there from that mid-range of where the Soviet Union existed. They came for the Victory Day celebration and we're having this dinner. But do you notice who's not sitting at the table? And this is what has been going crazy today on social media, on speculation. It's dictator Lukashenko, Putin's best buddy from Belarus. Now, two reasons. Number one, Lukashenko physically became ill today. He became ill during the Victory Day celebration in Moscow. Secondly, he needed to return to Minsk for their Victory Day celebration. So you have Lukashenko not at the state dinner there. You have, and it's confirmed he was ill today. He was sick. He was actually being treated. Kind of interesting. I don't put any conspiracy theories out ever, but interesting. He gets sick on Victory Day, and he goes back to Minsk in the late evening. Here is a little clip of Lukashenko. Now, he was supposed to make a speech right here. You see him standing there, and of course the sun's shining in their faces, and they're squinting and all that. But he's ill here, so he actually has one of the generals make the Victory Day speech. This is what happened in Belarus, and here is just a little clip of Lukashenko dropping a wreath or paying tribute on Victory Day. Here's Minsk, Belarus.
К монументу Победы ложится венок от имени президента Беларуси. Венок, украшенный лентой в цветах государственного флага нашей страны. Склоним же головы перед павшими на полях сражений. Почтим их вечную память. Низкий поклон и вечная благодарность от нас, от потомков победителей.
We're so thankful for all of those who won the victory as we celebrate their memory. It's Minsk, Belarus. So maybe you're here and you say, I wonder what those countries even look like. Well, that was Minsk, Belarus. So this moves us to the focus of the update tonight, and that is what, if you're here, whether it's tonight or some other time you're watching this update, you want to know what Vladimir Putin said. Well, let's jump into it now. Vladimir Putin, here he is, sitting up on the stand here with some of the generals or heroes of old. The one guy on the left was born in 1934. You know, you realize a lot of the World War II veterans are dying out. These are some of the older soldiers. They would have been in Stalin's army there in the Soviet Union. And Putin sitting there and watching the festivities and getting ready to do his speeches. So what happens? Well, the first thing is they had a parade of some tanks and some military vehicles. Well, let me correct that. They had a parade with a tank and some older military vehicles. And people started going crazy with this. Look, they don't have any tanks. They're not running the equipment through there like they typically do. Today, they ran 141 vehicles through Red Square. Typically, they run about 270. And yeah, all their equipment is out. These big S-300s, S-400 missile systems that they would run through on the trucks and all that in past Victory Days. Of course, not happening. But social media started to run crazy with, oh, well, look at this little terrible tank that they're running through. But if you want to know the truth, I give you the truth. Actually, this was a World War II tank considered the best of the era. And of course, they were sending that through so they could pay tribute to the World War II soldiers and military here. So here's just a little picture, some of the parade coming through. Of course, prior to Vladimir Putin speaking.
На Красной площади парадные расчеты механизированной колонны. Она включает исторические и современные образцы боевой техники, стоящие на вооружении российской армии. Открывает прохождение техники лучший средний танк Великой Отечественной войны и самый массовый танк Красной армии Т-34 под боевым знаменем первой гвардейской краснознаменной танковой армии. За годы войны было выпущено свыше 35 тысяч 34-ок.
There's the hammer and sickle flag flying. If you backed it up here, you could see, let's see there, soldiers lined up, red square painted. You've got the stage there where Putin's setting, people in the stands. And of course, this is right where the stage is, right where Lenin's mausoleum is. So that's what happened first as this was unfolding. And now let's get to a few things that Vladimir Putin said. We're going to start with, it's really odd what happened, to be honest with you, because it's ludicrous talk of a dictator. He talks about the West and the world wanting to wipe out our history that we celebrate here today. That's number one. We're going to look at that. And then he rants about the repugnant ideology of the West. He rants about that. Then he comes back and says, but you know, we are peaceful people. All right. So here it is. Here's Putin talking, wiping out our history. Today, here you go. This is what you're here for tonight. The desecration of the monuments and what our heroes that we celebrate today, this generation, is a crime. It's a blatant retaliation of those who are cynical and openly prepared to do a new campaign against Russia, who gathered neo-Nazi scumbags from all over the world for this purpose. Their goal, and there's nothing new here, is to achieve the disintegration and the destruction of our country, to cross out the results of World War II, and to break the system of global security and international law. So, it doesn't sound too peaceful there with the neo-Nazi scumbags being gathered throughout the world and breaking our system of greatness. But that's exactly what he said. This translation's perfect. Here. How about some repugnant ideology? Any ideology of superiority is inherently repugnant. It's criminal. It's deadly. However, the Western globalist elites continue to claim their exceptionalism. They pit people against each other. They divide societies. They provoke bloody conflicts and coups, and they sow hatred, Russophobia, and aggressive nationalism. Did he say provoke bloody battles? Pretty sure on February 24th, it was Russia that invaded Ukraine. Just confirming about the repugnant ideology of provoking bloody battles. Folks, this is exactly what he said today. Now, let's bring it around. But you know, we're peaceful people. Today, civilization is once again at a very critical juncture. A real war has now once again been unleashed against our homeland, but we have repelled the international terrorism, and we will protect the residents of Donbass and ensure our security. Now, for Russia, there are no unfriendly, hostile nations either in the West or in the East. And like the vast majority of people on the planet, we want to see a peaceful, free, and stable future. Repugnant ideology, scumbag Nazis recruited from all over the world in the West. But you know, we don't have any enemies in the West, and we don't have any enemies in the East. All we want is a peaceful world to go forward in. And we're just here to protect the people of the Donbass. This is why we wanted to do a special update tonight, because have you heard any of these translations anywhere else? Probably not. I don't know, maybe. And then, of course, we have to close out the speech with the hurrah. It's powerful. Here you go. You're going straight to Red Square tonight through the power of media. For Russia,
за наши доблестные
for our
вооруженные
valiant
силы.
armed forces,
За победу!
for victory.
Ура!
So there you have it. That's how it unfolded. Some of the main points Vladimir Putin said in his speech today in Victory Day. The last thing that they do after the hurrahs, then you have one more pass and the march out, and the master of ceremonies closes out the program. So here we have the march out, and you get a peek at it with some translation. The military parade now, dedicated to the 78th anniversary of victory in the Great Patriotic War, ends. To the sound of the march, Farewell to Slavyanka, the orchestra will now leave Red Square. The victory parade is over. Long live the 78th anniversary of the great victory. Hooray! Glory to the veterans of the great patriotic war. Hooray! Congratulations to all the Russians with this great holiday. So there you have it, folks. Tonight, day 440, you have experienced Victory Day in Moscow, plus been updated on how Ukraine handled it and what is going on there currently. I'm looking at my updates. I moved it over to this screen, and right now we're good. No air alarms. Everything's peaceful and quiet. So tomorrow we'll see what unfolds, and we will go forward. We'll be here tomorrow night as normal on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Of course, today being a Tuesday with a special update because we wanted the world to know what was stated, what happened, what unfolded on Victory Day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part. Thank you for continuing to support in all ways possible. Check out the description in the YouTube. We much appreciate it. That like button is so powerful. Thank you for hitting it. Thank you for all that you do. Be blessed, and we'll see you in 24 hours. Good night.